Hey, what's up YouTube? King James here. All right, let's talk about the XM4 for a minute. I know ARs have been a hit big time in Season 4 and even in Season 3. We're in really an AR meta now. Not that LMGs and some of the other guns aren't good, and with the Milano video that I just did, you can certainly see that almost anything can work these days, but ARs are really a staple of that sort of medium long range game. And the XM4, well, a long time ago, it used to be total trash. None of the attachments even worked. And then they buffed it, and then they fixed the optics, and then they buffed it again, and now we're left with the XM4 that is totally different than what we had in the past, and it's completely viable. I used it for short range and for long range, and it's really good at both. How good is it? Well, let me show you. All right, so first things first, how does it perform against some of the other popular guns? And I've got a chart here for you. So the C58, which just got nerfed, the Farah, which is very popular, Krig, which is also pretty popular, and the XM4. And as you can see, the only thing that beats it is the C58, and that's because it's got crazy damage. But they've recently nerfed the C58. It doesn't quite have the same sort of laser beam that it used to. It has a bit more recoil, which it probably should have had. It was just too strong and too much like a laser beam. But then the very next gun after that is the XM4, which is pretty well a laser beam. The thing's so easy to use. It has very minimal recoil, and look, it's better than the FAR and the the FAR and the Krig at close range. It gets beat out by the C58, but then get to the longer ranges, and the only thing that beats it is the C58, but it's not as easy to shoot. So the XM4 is definitely really high on the time to kill chart and how easy it is to use. But let me show you the recoil patterns. So here's the Season 3 recoil pattern, and sorry this video is a little choppy, but it shows you how the recoil is going. And look at it, it goes right up to the concrete in the roof part here. You can see it goes up and across all that distance. And now today, here it is with the revamped optic and the revamped recoil. And look at how short it is. It only goes halfway up the building now. So the recoil is almost 50% less of what it used to be. So I decided to shoot it again and see if the recoil pattern was the same this time. And what's interesting is it didn't have quite as strong a curve as it did the first time. You see it's got a pretty sharp up movement, where this time it was a little bit smoother. And then when I do the controlled shot, look how easy it is to get a nice, easy controlled shot on this thing. Every one of those shots landed in a really tight zone. And the other thing that's interesting is I noted this before, but look at the pattern. It goes up and across and over. The second time, it was more like an arc. So the recoil pattern on the guns isn't always the same every single time, but it's generally the same shape, which is why it's pretty easy to control once you get used to it. But the recoil pattern on this, before it was going way up here, now it's ending halfway up the building. So clearly the recoil is way better on this gun. And when I first reviewed it, I hated it. I didn't really like it. I couldn't get down with it. Now it's really good. And this is what I'm talking about. Watch this clip from Season 3. You can see it's got the huge reticle. Look at how much it's shaking and how hard it is to control that gun. I was shooting those guys and ended up getting pinged off from behind. But it just is not easy. The pattern on it is brutal. Let me watch that again. Look at it. It's just shaking all over the place. It was so bad. Now here it is today, and it's a whole different story. Look at the way the reticle doesn't shake, how little recoil it has, and how easy it is to shoot. It just wasn't like that before. Now it's so much easier to use. It's sort of like the GRA or the Kilo of before in the Modern Warfare seasons, where they were the easy to shoot, long range, sort of smooth action gun. Now it's the XM4, I'm pretty sure, because the gun just wasn't that great before. Now it's good, and when I'm having a bad night and I'm just I need a confidence boost and I just can't land my shots, I grab the XM4 because honestly it's an easy gun to use, and it really does build confidence because it's straight, it's fast, it has very little recoil, and it builds a ton of confidence. So when I'm trying to get back on my game, man, I grab the XM4 and it really helps me build that confidence back when you're having a bad night. It's great for that. So I'm carrying the XM4 with an LC10, I tried it with a nail gun, the MAC-10. There's all kinds of really great SMGs you can carry with the XM4. I got lots of videos on those that you guys can check out. But let me show you my XM4 loadout. But just before I go into that, I want to say thank you to everybody who's recently subbed to the channel and is coming and watching my videos. I really appreciate all that love and support, so thank you guys. And if you haven't subbed to the channel, consider subscribing because it really does help small content creators like myself. All right, let me show you my build. So for starters, I'm using the Great Pacific blueprint. This has blue tracers. It's a blueprint I bought off the store. I just like tracers. I think they kind of give me a bit of an advantage. I know some guys don't like them, but I like it, especially when you're shooting someone in a dark area and they're in a rose skin. It really helps light them up. So I do like it for that, and it just looks cool. But anyway, has nothing to do with how the gun performs, so you don't really need it. But for the muzzle, I'm using the agency suppressor for sound suppression, bullet velocity, effective damage range, and it actually has vertical recoil control. Now, not that this gun has a lot of recoil anyway, but it certainly helps with that. And for the barrel, I'm using the Ranger barrel because it has the most bullet velocity of any barrel. And for a medium to long range gun, the only thing you want is bullet velocity. And bullet velocity is how long does it take from when you shoot till the bullet hits the target. And the shorter that time is, the less you have to lead your shots. If you've ever been playing a game and somebody's flying in or running and you have to lead your shots, that's bullet velocity. The higher that is, the less you have to lead your shots and the easier it is to get those hits. Now for an optic, I'm using the Axial Arms 3X, and just to show you, I really like the Clean Living reticle. I don't always use it, sometimes I use the regular one, but I do like the green cross in the center, and I find it makes it really easy to know exactly where you're shooting. Now for ammunition, using the Stenag 60 round mag has a bit of an ADS penalty, but I want the extra bullets. And underbarrel, field agent grip. Now it does have, as you saw, the gun does have a little bit of recoil. It's not zero recoil, but it's super easy to control. But when you add on the agency suppressor and the field agent grip, you really get a ton of recoil control. And that's what you saw in my videos when I was shooting up the wall and it only went halfway up and it was pretty smooth. That's what makes this gun really so easy to shoot compared to how it used to be, is all these attachments just like this. And this has been crazy successful for me. Anyways, guys, give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have you been using the XM4 at all, or are you still using another gun? Maybe you're still using Modern Warfare guns. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you using a different build than what I'm using? Because I have my close range and my long range build, both of which have been really great for me. So if you have a different attachments or you're running in a slightly different way, let me know, because I really like trying other things out. So if you got something that's working for you, hit me up in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you don't see me in Warzone, if you don't see me in multiplayer, it's only a matter of time, baby. King James out. Should be it. And the victory.